Good morning and welcome to Prakash Vidyalaya, my dear students, where students love to learn. My dear students of class 6, today we are going to do chapter 7, Ashoka the Emperor who gave up war. As you all know, the name Ashoka was a great emperor, the name of Ashoka as one of the greatest emperors of Indian history. He gave up war and there was a cause for it. Being an emperor, he was first a conqueror of places. He used to just go to places, wage wars and conquer places. But such a great conqueror stopped war and became the conqueror of hearts. Let's see how. He had a very big empire and used to wage wars and annex kingdoms to his neighborhood to his kingdom, and emperor had a vast empire. It was not just a small kingdom, it was a vast empire. Empire means large kingdoms are called empires. And the capital, we find the lion had a pillar where there were 4 lions facing back to back at Sarnath, and we are seeing this massive stone pillar was constructed by Ashoka the emperor with inscription around the pillar. It was one of the biggest iron pillar constructed. Till date it has not rusted. That's the greatness of metallurgy of those times. Ashoka was one of the greatest known rulers to history, and his instructions in the inscriptions on iron pillars are well known. Before we find out what was written in these inscriptions, let us see that his kingdom was called an empire. As I told you, it was a vast kingdom. Excuse. As an empire is very large, different parts were ruled differently. The area around Patliputra was under direct control of the emperor, and this meant that the officials were appointed to collect taxes from farmers, herders, craftspersons and traders who lived in villages and towns of those areas. So in order to run and establish a good welfare of the people, they used to collect taxes from the people, and the officials also punished those who disobeyed the king's orders. Many of these officials were given salaries and messengers were sent to and fro. Spies kept a legal watch on the officials. Just see how advanced system Ashoka had maintained. There were other areas of provinces which were ruled from the capital, such as Taxila or Ujjain. Although there was some amount of control from Patliputra, and royal princes were often sent as governors to different places, and local customs and rules were also followed. Besides, there were vast areas and centers where the Mauryans tried to control roads and rivers which were important for transport. So transportation, art and architecture, welfare of the people, everything was looked after. Unlike taxes were collected, and this was one of the best empire then. Ashoka is called a unique ruler because most famous Mauryan ruler was Ashoka. He was the first ruler who tried to take his message to the people through inscriptions. He let know people what he wanted through inscriptions in public places. Most of Ashoka's inscriptions were in Prakrit and were written in the Brahmi script for people to understand. Ashoka waged wars, and Kalinga war, the Kalinga war with Odisha, then it was known as Kalinga, was the final war which was a turning point in his life as a conqueror. Kalinga is the ancient name of coastal Odisha. Ashoka fought a war to conquer Kalinga. However, he was so terrified when he saw the violence and bloodshed and huge masses of dead bodies lying around. He turned up his mind. Not only did he change his mind of not conquering anymore, but also he became a Buddhist and follower of Buddhism and became a great Buddhist follower. He started preaching Dharma, and this was called as Dhamma, or Ashoka's involvement in the worship of God and performance of sacrifice. Here onwards the things changed and took a turn, and from now onwards Ashoka started preaching, and he had many appointed officials who were known as Dharma Mahamatas, or the carriers of Dharma, who used to preach the Buddhism to the people or the common masses. Here we come to know how a great king, how a great emperor like Ashoka, after seeing the bloodshed of Kalinga, of Odisha, he was totally a converted or a changed person, and then onwards he became a great Buddhist follower. I hope you all understood what made Ashoka change his life. Thank you very much.